In classic Marvel Studios style, the Marvels dropped a ton of teasers at the end of its movie, and I knew the moment I saw them, I was going to have to dig into them in a new video for CinemaBlend's YouTube channel. Hey everyone, I'm Sean O'Connell, the managing editor here at CinemaBlend, and The Marvels is out in theaters currently as you are watching this video. And if you watched the film, then you know that there are some huge things that happen both at the end of the film and in the mid-credit scene that tease some exciting things that are going to happen in the MCU moving forward. In order to talk about them, we're going to have to dive into specific spoilers. So if you haven't seen The Marvels yet and you don't want to be ruined about some of the things that happen in the new Marvel Studios movie, make sure you back out now. But for the rest of you guys, hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, and let's talk about those crazy things that happened at the end of this new movie.
We're looking for Kamala Khan.
Easily one of my favorite things about the Marvels is the chemistry between the three leads, and specifically Iman Vellani, who I loved in the Ms. Marvel Disney Television Plus series, and who just continues to shine as one of the MCU's greatest casting home runs as Kamala Khan. At the end of the Marvels, we start to see her laying down the groundwork for the establishment of a team that's been popular in the comic series called the Young Avengers. And we've been introduced to a few different characters that were part of the Young Avengers ensemble up to this point, specifically Kate Bishop, who's played by Haley Steinfeld in the Hawkeye television series that came out earlier.
No way. Is it time?
It's time.
At the end of the Marvels, you guys saw Iman Vellani's Ms. Marvel sitting in the dark, doing an homage to Sam Jackson's time in Iron Man where he recruited Tony Stark to learn more about the Avengers Initiative. It's played for laughs. It's incredibly funny. Iman Vellani approaches this with, again, so much wit and humor and confidence. She loves the fact that she's part of this superhero universe, and Kamala can't wait to recruit Kate Bishop for this new team that she's starting to put together. So it's exciting to see Haley Steinfeld return back to the MCU. Last time we saw her was in the Hawkeye series. We knew that the sort of baton or bow, I guess, had been passed to her to become the new Hawkeye. Jeremy Renner kind of going to be with his family, not quite retiring, could definitely come back for another movie or television show. But the idea of the Hawkeye identity being passed off to Kate Bishop. And now we see Kate being recruited by Kamala Khan to potentially be in the Young Avengers. You start to ask yourself then, what other characters have we met yet up to this point that could be part of the Young Avengers? Well, at the very end of She-Hulk, we learned that Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, has a son, and that has to be filled in, some story gaps that we don't really know what happened with that.
Wow, you're a family.
There's an entire subplot that involves both the Planet Hulk and the World War Hulk Marvel storylines that would include Hulk having a son. But a lot of that, in the She-Hulk series at least, happened off screen. We just sort of saw Hulk show up at a Fast and Furious style family picnic, and he had a son with him. That character should be part of the Young Avengers moving forward. And of course, we also have Wanda's two sons, who were significant to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, specifically because the Scarlet Witch wanted to get her two sons back. But those characters, as they grow up, go on to become significant members of the Young Avengers team moving forward. And so if and when we get a Young Avengers story, I expect to see all those characters showing up.
Oh my god, we're a team.
Before we move on, I kind of want to talk about an issue that Marvel is having right now, is in that they tease so much stuff, but we don't really know if and when it's going to be paid off. Even in phase 4 and 5 specifically, we've seen a number of different characters being introduced or potential subplots being floated, whether it be Hercules showing up in the mid-credit scene for Thor: Love and Thunder, or again, Hulk's son, like I mentioned, in She-Hulk, Harry Styles being introduced in the Eternals, and then, you know, a little thumbtack gets placed into the big MCU map, and we all sit around thinking like, okay, well, when is that going to amount to something? The tease of the Young Avengers is definitely one of those new things that we're just throwing onto the pile of, well, what will we see first? Are we going to see Clea, played by Charlize Theron, in a Doctor Strange movie, or is the Young Avengers actually going to become a thing? Because the only two Avengers movies that have been announced so far are Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and then Avengers: Secret War. Does that mean that Young Avengers could become a Disney Plus series? I guess that's possible, of course, although the Disney Plus series tend to be more like Secret Invasion than they are like Loki, which is its own thing and is really exciting and great.
I beg your pardon.
I think the Young Avengers are worthy of their own movie, but right now, the films that are laid out on Phase 5 and 6 of the MCU do not include them. There are a lot of gaps, and the Young Avengers could absolutely get one of those dates. But until we hear from Kevin Feige, we're all just left wondering what's going to happen.
You are not the only thing standing between this and the universe.
Okay, so that scene was part of the movie as a whole. There, of course, was a mid-credit scene in the Marvels that we have to discuss because of what's going on. So as you know, as the story was progressing, Monica needed to close one of the jump holes that were tearing holes in the fabric of the universe and essentially creating a gap in the space-time continuum between our universe and another universe. We do know that Marvel has been playing around with the idea of the multiverse. It's popped up in Spider-Man No Way Home. It's been part of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. And Loki has been playing with this very heavily over the course of Loki Season 2 and is wrapping up its Season 2 with a season finale where we're going to find out what's going on with the multiverse and the TVA. In this one in particular, Monica has to close the hole from the other side, leaving her in an alternate universe. When she wakes up, it's a mirror sort of scene playing out of when she came back from being dusted and was seated at the hospital bed of her mother, Maria Rambeau, who had died while Monica was snapped away, which is very, very tragic, and she's dealing with the loss of her mother. In this scenario, however, in this other multiverse, in this other universe, Monica wakes up, her mother Maria is there, but Maria now is the Captain Marvel of that world. And she doesn't recognize Monica at all. Monica's calling her mom. There's a disconnect there completely where Maria doesn't recognize who Monica is. This is not her child in this universe. But Maria's not alone. She's standing in the room with Beast from the X-Men films, played by Kelsey Grammer. And it's not quite the makeup and prosthetics Kelsey Grammer. This looks like it's enhanced with CGI, and he looks fantastic. I don't doubt that Kelsey Grammer probably performed some version of motion capture, but it just goes to show how far along the technology has come that Kelsey Grammer can still stand in and play Hank McCoy, the Beast, and look amazing while doing it. We are very clearly in the X-Men mansion. Beast says at one point, Charles has asked for an update. I'm going to go give that to him right now, and he leaves, and we see the X door close, which is fantastic. I kind of got chills from seeing that. And then Maria turns to Monica and basically says, like, who are you? And Monica realizes, I'm in a whole nother alternate universe, and I don't know what's going on here. Okay, so what is that going to mean? Well, I think of all things, that's the storyline that's going to pay off a lot sooner than any of the other ones that Marvel has teased, because we have Deadpool 3 coming up soon, although it's been delayed a little bit by the ongoing actor strikes and a little bit by the writer strikes, which has been resolved. So Deadpool 3 has been in limbo, but when that film happens, we do know that it is going to bridge the gap between existing MCU films and what has been going on in the Fox universe.
Strong theory.
A lot of this stuff is speculation moving forward, but these are the rumors that we've been hearing, and I think a lot of it is going to pan out because I've been hearing that the TVA is going to have to essentially recruit a team of superheroes in order to fight against the Kang variants that will be produced as a result of the events that are taking place in Loki Season 2. Deadpool is going to be one of the people who is being used by the TVA to go recruit these heroes, and he's essentially pulling all of the prime versions of classic Marvel characters that we've seen on screen throughout the years. And this could include Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, obviously Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who we know is going to be part of Deadpool 3. We've heard rumors about Ben Affleck's Daredevil, and maybe some members of the original Fox Fantastic Four. We've heard Chris Evans is going to be in Secret Wars moving forward, but is he going to be Chris Evans Captain America, or is it going to be Chris Evans Johnny Storm from the first two Fantastic Four movies that Tim Story does? We're not quite sure, but essentially, Secret Wars might build to a point where all of the Marvel characters who were produced by studios before the MCU was a thing, whether it was by Sony or by New Line or by Universal, or of course by Fox, the Fox Marvel characters, they're all going to be brought under the umbrella of the MCU. And this was the first step in heading us in this direction. The MCU now has branched over into the alternate Earth where the Fox mutant characters are, and we see Kelsey Grammer's Beast showing up in an MCU film. It's not quite the big splashy Toby and Andrew are back in Spider-Man No Way Home, but it is at least a bridge into the existing X-Men films, and for that reason, we have to get excited. Now, if I'm being honest, I am getting a little bit tired of Marvel tacking on these teases at the end of their films, because we don't know when they're going to pay off. But the reason I'm really excited about the Beast one is because, as I mentioned, I think all this stuff is going to get picked up in Deadpool 3. In the meantime, right now, we have Loki to finish off on. And then next year, we're going to have Captain America, the storyline progressing with Sam Wilson being Captain America. And then after that, we have Thunderbolts. Beyond that, it's kind of up in the air. So keep it right here on CinemaBlend, where we're going to continue to analyze what's happening in the MCU. We'll break down a lot more Marvel's content here on the channel. So hit subscribe, turn on your notifications, and the next time we talk about the MCU, you guys will be the first ones to hear about it.